out of 7 children, I'm the first child. And out of the 7, we have 2 warriors in the family. So the AA and the AS, they are cells because every part of our body has cells. That's why we feel things. Now, the cells are supposed to be round, like a donut shape. But that of a sickle cell is half moon shape, like a crescent shape, yeah. Is sickle in shape. Yeah, that's where they got the word sickle. Over the years, I've believed I need to have someone around. Yeah. Now, when these persons come to stay, a sense of entitlement comes in. It takes more than a friend to understand who you are, what you are, to stay with you. It doesn't just take someone who appreciates your physical appearance, maybe the fact that you are hardworking, or you are financially stable, or you are learned, or this guy is good, and all of that. It's beyond that. I always tell my warriors, the ones we take care of, if anybody asks you, oh, I love you, look beautiful, the first question is, what's your genotype? Even when they take you to the finest restaurant in town, as you are getting, they don't say they should bring the menu. What is your genotype? So even if you don't want to say you are a sickle cell warrior to the person, just know the person's own genotype first. Go to the point of even testing. And if the person is not willing to share, please, we can only be friends, or you end everything and go home.
Hello, welcome back to the Life Podcast, your safe space. So today we'll be talking about sickle cell and all that has to do with sickle cell, the challenges. And to work with us in this journey is Sir Aaron Linus. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Sir. So please tell us about yourself.
Okay, I'm Imo Linus Aaron is the name. Simply Aaron, or like you said, Aaron Linus. Okay. I'm an entrepreneur and a lecturer. Single, and I do everything: event managing, baking, planning, designing, and setup. Then I also cater for sickle cell persons, people living with sickle cell disease. So I run a sickle cell foundation that has been operating for about 4 years now, 3 years and still counting. So that's simply me.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Sir.
Thank you.
All right, so moving on, can you tell us how you got to discover that you are sickle cell, like you have sickle cell anemia?
Okay, sickle cell disease, my discovery was at age 2, according to my parents. I was a year plus, about 2 years, when they discovered that as the first child of the family, I was always falling ill, and they were just treating malaria, typhoid, until a doctor had to run some series of tests and discover that, oh, this child is living with sickle cell disease or sickle cell anemia. So they were taught how to manage me, and I didn't know, because all through my secondary school days, I see myself as this different child among my peers. I always go for medications, I'm missing exams. So until after secondary school, I had to now do these findings myself. Higher institution came, and I had to research and discover, oh, this is what sickle cell really is. And this is how it happens to people living with it. This is how you can probably take care of it or manage it. And then since then, I've been doing the best I can with the help of God. So basically, it's like at age 2 that my parents discovered.
Okay, so what was your childhood like? Like growing up with it, where there are some kids that they don't want to mingle this set of persons because they feel they're fragile, they're not strong.
Like children playing in the rain, and your parents will be trying to protect you from playing in the rain.
Very true.
So what was childhood like?
Yeah, childhood was crazy. I had a regular childhood. But one thing with sickle cell warriors, they are very strong-willed. They are stubborn. Is that thing you say they should not do? That's the one they want to do. Yeah, so growing up as a child, I was always alone. My parents would always, you are not supposed to do this. Don't play in the rain. Don't play with children. Don't do that. And I grew up almost becoming timid. I grew up not knowing how to stand out or stand up for myself. I grew up thinking I'm not supposed to do some certain things. When I see some guys playing snooker, playing football, I just feel like I'm not supposed to join them. And it was weird when I was advancing to teenage and young adult. Why wouldn't a guy be able to play football? Why wouldn't a guy join his fellow guys to go and play snookers? Why wouldn't a guy play in the rain and all of that? But I didn't know they were trying to protect me. So after school, I'm home straight. If there are no church activities, even groups in church, I don't join them. It's strictly just service. And after service, you are back. If you want to join a team, or sometimes I sneak out to go for all of these group activities with my mates. And when my parents come back and discover that I'm out, they come to that venue, regardless of how far that place is. They come to that place and they ask me to leave, and immediately we go back home. It repeats. Even after secondary school, when I was learning these events that I'm doing now, my mom had to go to the woman's place where I was learning decoration and told her to stop calling me for events. And then that was how the woman stopped calling me and I stopped learning it. But because of perseverance, I was strong-willed, I was determined, and I ended up where I am. So I was always separated from my peers. I was always doing something different from what I should have been doing as a child.
Wow, that is interesting.
Very interesting.
You talked about when you have to challenge how your parents discovered that you were sickle cell. It seems, is it that you knew that you had sickle cell, or they didn't tell you? You got to discover yourself, but you just knew that there's this thing called sickle cell, and that you have, but you don't really know what it is.
Okay, so they never told me. I grew up to discover myself, and that happened because I knew I was different among other children. And then after my secondary school, while awaiting admission for someone who is maybe, let's say, eager to go to the higher institution and want to know more, because we had a family doctor then, and I was always asking my family doctor, what could be wrong with me? And he would say, nothing, you are fine. I would ask my parents, they would say, nothing, you are fine. You're not so different from other children. So I took it upon myself to start finding out, what really is this called? What does it mean? So I use my browser to check. I try to read books. I try to check online. Though we don't have information about sickle cell then as much as we do now. So, but it was just the normal phone browsing. What is sickle cell? How does it happen to one living with it? So when I discovered that it has to do with genotype compatibility, it's something you inherit. It's not something that you get infected with. So I then had to ask my doctor at some point, the family doctor at some point, what are the genotypes of my parents? And he said, no, that's a question you should go and ask them. That you shouldn't bother about knowing their genotype. The good thing is that you are alive, they are alive, and you guys are fine. So I walked up to my parents and asked my mom particularly, because I'm always like really close to my mom. My dad is the person who's not always available to everybody. So I asked my mom, like, even she doesn't know her genotype. Yes. Because my mom got married quite early, before 2019, 20 thereabouts, and she couldn't finish all her education. Yeah. So she doesn't know, but she just knows that she's fine, and she hardly falls ill. Like growing up with my mom, she hardly falls ill. So it's something I discovered on my own. And when I discovered I had to do with parents' genotype compatibility, I hated my parents. I felt they were the reason why I couldn't achieve much as I wanted to. I couldn't go far as I had planned to. There were so many dreams that I had to cut line due to my health challenge. Yeah. So I discovered on my own. Yeah.
I understand that.
So you said you did not forgive them.
No, I had to, because on the process, I had to understand that, these people didn't have the knowledge of what genotype was. You get, and like I said, my mom didn't finish all her education. My dad is the one who is well learned and did all his education. So I got to now understand. So I could, even people who are learned to their masters and PhD, they use love as the excuse and still get married in our current world. So what happens to someone who got married like 30 something years ago, from the village direct to the city? So because of these factors, I had to look at it, give it a second thought, and I forgive them. They've been there for me. There've never been a time I'm down and they are not there, except I don't call them. Yeah, so long as they are in the know, they can sell anything they need to sell to make sure that this child is very okay. Out of 7 children, I'm the first child. And out of the 7, we have 2 warriors in the family. You get, so I see their attention, their love is enough reason to let go every pain and just understand that it happens and then move on.
All right, so can you explain sickle cell in simple terms? To those that do not really know what sickle cell anemia is.
Okay, yeah, sickle cell in a layman's understanding. First of all, you can get sickle cell when 2 partners, or a male and a female, whether married or not, comes together to make a child. Now, if their genotype is not compatible, definitely they will bring forth a child who is a sickle cell. Now, the most preferred or approved genotype compatibility is anybody with whatever genotype. We have AAAS, we have AC and the rest of them, SS as well. Now, if you are any of this category, you must get married to only AA. So only AA and any other type of genotype compatibility can come together to make a child. Now, when you have AS and AS, you definitely have a sickle cell child. When you have SS and AA, you won't have, but you have AS, which means those ones are carriers. They are the traits. So my parents, I definitely believe are AS. So, and then they happen to have me. Now, what is sickle cell? Sickle cell is a blood disease that is inherited. It's not something you contact from someone. It is inherited. It's only your parents that can give you sickle cell. Now, when you have the sickle cell genotype, your genotype or your DNA carries the SS hemoglobin. Now, that SS is what people call sickler or sickle cell. It's not necessarily SC. Now, those with SC2 are sicklers as well. And we know that people refer to them as sicklers, but we refer to them in a modern term as warriors. Warriors because they fight to survive every day. So now, when you have been inherited this genotype of SS as a sickle cell person living with it, what happens to you? Why do you always fall ill? Your cells are not usually round as it's supposed to be for the AA and the AS. They are cells because every part of our body has cells. That's why we feel things. Now, the cells are supposed to be round, like a donut shape. But that of a sickle cell is half moon shape, like crescent shape, is sickle in shape. Yeah, that's where they got the word sickle. So whenever there's because that sickle shape struggles to get enough blood, that's the red blood cell. It struggles to survive, it struggles to reproduce, it struggles to live in the body. So whenever you do anything strenuous, whenever you run, whenever you carry heavy things, whenever you do long night prayers or maybe long nights, whatever, and you stress yourself, those cells break down quickly. And when they break down, they don't reproduce again. And when they reproduce, but they at a very slow pace. And when they don't reproduce quick, definitely your body will have a lot of pains coming out. Now, when there's no, that's what we call crisis. Now, when there's no water, enough water in the body to even help those cells flow up down your body, they get locked at your joints, at your knee points, at your waist, your ankle, at your wrist. Now, when they get locked at those points, because there's no enough water, the cell, the sickle shape, this point, it's more like they start hitting you from inside out, and you start feeling those pain. So that is what we call the crisis.
Indeed, you guys are warriors.
We always say the number one medicine or medication is water. You must always have water with you because the water helps those cells to move. Now, when they don't move, they cause you pain. And at that point where they are not moving, they are locked, that's where you have the crisis. I can have crisis at the tip of my finger. I can have crisis on my ear. So long as I have cells any part of my body, I can have crisis
So
there.
meaning crisis can be avoided.
Can be avoided or managed.
Okay.
Can be avoided or managed. So simply, sickle cell is a blood disease that you inherit from your parents or you inherit from someone who gave birth to you practically. And then it's also something that if the cells are not, it's also another thing that if the cells are not round in shape, definitely they are sickled in shape and then they cause you more crisis.
Okay. So there are people that are warriors. You said they are not sickle cell.
We call sickle cell, people living with sickle cell warriors,
so
not sicklers.
Yes. I've seen so many warriors that they look very healthy outside, but they struggle silently. So what does it look like struggling silently? Because, okay, let me use you as an example. To be sincere, I never knew you were a warrior. Yes,
yeah.
I was still contemplating. Like I was still like arguing with myself. Is he?
How can this
No,
person-
he's not. He looks healthy. He's fine. Because from what from what I've seen, how they describe it, they're looking not too good. But yes,
Yes.
but I'm like, this person, he's agile. Yes, and I checked what you do. You do a lot of things, and I'm like, how do you do all this thing? You sure you're just supporting them? You just have a heart for them. So what does it mean? What does it like feel to struggle silently, and you still come out to put out that smile? You still have that strength, that determination.
And to add to that, what are those silent struggles as well?
Okay, majorly part of the silent struggle. Let me begin with yours before I explain how it feels like. Part of those silent struggle is the fact that as a sickle cell warrior, you might never, for those who carry marriage on their head, though, you might end up never settling down. Yes. You should have it at the back of your mind.
Why?
I'm not saying it's not possible. Of course it is. But it's good that there are some things you should just, oh, if it comes, glory to God. If it doesn't come, glory to God. It's not a yardstick to succeed. It's not a yardstick to say, oh, am I even a successful person? That's because most people feel if they are not married, something is really missing in their life. So one of those pain is you just have to have it at the back of your mind.
Because you're sickle cell.
So people feel people living with sickle cell. The world think people living with sickle cell will die the next minute. Yes, that's how they look at
True,
people
sir.
living with sickle cell.
Yeah.
They don't engage them, like organizations don't employ us. Yeah, they feel you bring down their company, you come up with sick leave, you call one day and say, you're sorry, I woke up not feeling too strong, so I can't come because our crises are not predictable. Yeah. Like I said, I can have a pain here. While we are on this session, I can have a crisis and cut this program. Yeah. I won't, of course. But it's unpredictable and it comes anywhere, anytime, any day. I know someone that his crisis came on his wedding day in the reception. Yeah. So because of these things, people in the world feel or think or see people living with sickle cell as a living time bomb that will explode any minute. Yeah. So now you who is probably an AA or AS would not want to have anything to do with this sickle cell person. How the burden, how do I build my dreams with this person, knowing that it's going to cut short along the line? So that is one. So marriage, just have it at the back of your mind that, oh, you get married, fine. You don't get married, fine. But don't allow anybody make you feel like you are not enough. So it saves you those pain by telling yourself, if it comes, so if it doesn't come. That's one of the pain. Secondly, just know that with all your degrees, PhD, masters, and whatever certificates you have, nobody might employ you with it. So build a business, carve a niche for yourself. Find something that you look back one day and say, oh, you are happy you were able to create this or do this for yourself or put a smile on somebody's face through this. This is also another pain. Another pain is you have to tell yourself that your family can one day wake up and they are tired of you. Yes, they can one day wake up and that your very best sibling can wake up and say a word to you that will hurt you so deep that you'd never saw coming. Or your mom or your dad will say something to the other person, making them feel like they are the reason why they are going through the pain they are going through. So your dad could wake up one day and tell your mom, it's because of you. And this is something that the both of them.
Yeah.
So your mom could wake up and say it's because of you. So I know of a family that anytime their child is sick and they are admitted in the hospital, the mother never stays in the hospital. They have about 2 or 3 warriors. The man stays there with all the money they have. They are very comfortable. They are very wealthy and stable. With all the money they have, the woman will never sit in the hospital till that child is maybe just the day they bring them to the hospital and then she leaves. Till when the child gets better and come back home. What? She will never show up. She sees the child as a burden and she blames the man for having more children. So these are some of the pains we go through. Imagine your parents having a discord because of you. You are thinking of taking your life. You are thinking of not being in existence so that could stop. Yeah. So these are some of the things or some of the pain you have to go through and just put at the back of your mind and just know that you have to survive. It's a warfare. It's a battle. That is why we call us warriors. Yeah. Now, how does it feel? I'm with my mates, went for an exam, an interview, whatever, and I happen to be successful. And then they are doing their medical check and they discover that I'm a sickle cell warrior. Oh, sorry, we can't employ you. We feel that you can't come on board. It hurts so deep. Like, I've invested in myself. I traveled from only God knows where to be there. I know people that I'm better than, but I can't be given the opportunity. I've worked in an organization for 3.5 years plus where if you come late, they deduct 500. They know about my health and they said it's fine. They deduct 500. If you take a sick leave, they deduct 1,000 naira. If you miss work for like 3 days consecutively, it's a problem. I think I never left that place with a complete salary for 2 years plus. To the point I woke up and told myself, I'm being tolerated here. I am being managed here, and I know what I have in me. I should leave this place. And then I resigned. And when I resigned, it was even tug of war because I was bringing a lot to the table. I was adding a lot to the organization, and I was being treated like. So there are a lot of silent pain. The fact that you're in a relationship, your partner is comparing you with someone but cannot even tell you. Or you have an argument and she just says something, and you know where that is coming from. I've asked someone else who told her friend, I cannot marry somebody who I'll be a nurse to the whole of my life. And I heard that. So these are some of the words, the things you hear. So you just have yourself to take care of and yourself to love, yourself to give all the best you can. Not minding who is by you, with you, or in that situation for you. Even family. Now, whenever I have a crisis, I don't call my family, not because I'm offended, no, or because they've done, no. I just feel I'm at that point where I should be able to take care of myself and not be a burden to them. So most times when I'm down, I usually have my medications at home. My doctors have warned me not to always give myself my medications apart from drugs. So I have a nearby hospital or nurse friends I can call. They give me the medications I need to take, or sometimes I just manage and I stay alone. I manage to go to the hospital because most crises come between 2-3 midnight. Yeah. Most of our crises come between when your body is at rest and your body is trying to calculate and run through all the activities you went through for that day. And then it's not checking. It's more like a checkbook.
Yeah.
Oh, so I was damaged. The cell is complaining. I was damaged at this point. I was stressed at this point, and it reacts. So most of our crises come between 2 to 3 a.m., 2 to 4 a.m., and that's it. So it's a lot of pain. It's a lot for warriors.
You know, I've been with a friend with sickle cell. So I've witnessed that pain. And whenever he has this crisis.
It's crazy. The
So,
whole room is upside
just
down.
me wondering, how do you do it alone? Like having crisis and you are all
being
alone.
alone.
You manage to go to the hospital. How? Because
Okay, I've built myself. So back to one of your question, how do we come out strong? So it's a mentality thing for me. I just tell myself, yes, I'm a sickle cell warrior. It took me 29 years to accept I'm a sickle cell warrior. Yes. Wow. You will never bring up a sickle cell conversation in a room where I am, and I will stay. And if I have to be there, you say something against sickle cell warriors, I will just quietly walk out. Like growing up, secondary school, university, all the jobs, all the places, all the friends I've had, because of stigmatization. So I was struggling to believe, being a winner, a Living Faith member, and you know what you say is what you get. Like, I can't be a sickle cell warrior. It's what you say, it's what you believe, it's what you get. I struggled for 29 good years before I came out to the world that I'm a sickle cell warrior. It's a lot. So imagine someone struggling on something else for that long before accepting. And these things, I hear some of them. Sometimes I heard them having the conversation, I just drop into their conversation. So these things push me. They motivate me. They make me to be determined, to want to give those people a counter definition of what they think of me. My circle always think, oh, I can't do more, so they don't give me opportunities. Even when I know I can do these things. Even when I was in drama units, oh, you can't do this, you can't act, you can't come for vigils. So because of this, we have to now brace up and tell them that we can do better. So determination for me, I have to look my best. I have to make sure I invest in myself and do well. Any room I show up, I have to make sure I deliver the best. So we struggle silently, very true. But what we show to the world is something that is better than what we go through. Yeah. Only those that go through those shoes or walk through those shoes understand the pain. No matter how I explain sickle cell crisis to the public, to you, you can never understand it because the pain is even more than labor pain. It has been on test. You can check on even World Health. The pain sickle cell persons go through is more than the pain people in labor go through. Yeah, so that's how we cover our pain. And your question again on seeing people, how do I stay alone and cover that? Yes, staying alone was a struggle with my parents. At age 25, I determined that I'll stay alone. And I had a major operation in my final year, I think age 23 or 24. And my school was delayed. I had to defer if my final year. Yeah, and then did this operation, came back, and then went for school. They said, you have to apply for semester defer. It was disapproved. Apply for session defer. Then it was approved. Finished school, NYC delay. Long story short, I was done with school, and I was serving exactly at age 25. And that was the age I told myself that I would leave my parents' house. So I went to Bauchi, did my 3 weeks camp, and then redeployed back to Kano. Now, when I came back to Kano, I wanted to leave, and my parents were like, "No, you can't leave. How do you survive long?" Me and my mom fought. We're in the same house. So it's only greeting that joined us. We're not talking. So I left my parents' house at age 25 and alone. So the only thing is I have 1 or 2 friends who come to spend weekends sometimes, sometimes weekdays. But at this level now, I'm over 30. At this level now, I don't have anybody. I don't need anybody. I've grown to understand myself, listen to my body, know how I take care of myself, know what to do that will not trigger a crisis. Even when I do those things and the crisis comes, sometimes you just cannot take care of yourself enough. So when they come, you just have to be strong. So sometimes I just wear my sleeping robe in the middle of the night, open my gates, lock the door, and you see me in pains and I'm panting and I'm walking out of my compound, and I might get 1 or 2 neighbors looking through the window, and I don't care. I just go to the hospital. I call the doctors. I'm here, please, I'm in pain, and I'm just rolling. Immediately I just see the hospital and the doctor, as if the pain just increased. But from my door to the gate of the hospital, I'm bottling everything up. I'm trying to be strong. I'm just sighing. As soon as I get to the hospital and I see that there's a doctor, there's a nurse, I express myself and they just know what to give me. I relax a little, get my medication. Once I'm fine, I'm back to my usual activities. So that's it. My parents, my doctors in Aminu Kano, I told them recently, they don't expect it. My doctor didn't know I've been alone for years. And they were like, "You're not supposed to." Why? I said, "Okay, so I'll try and get a friend." I just promised him.
Okay, you said you don't need anybody. You just want to be. Why?
Not necessarily that I don't need anybody, but the over the years I've believed I need to have someone around.
Yeah.
Now, when these persons come to stay, a sense of entitlement comes in. It takes more than a friend to understand who you are, what you are, to stay with you. It doesn't just take someone who appreciates your physical appearance, maybe the fact that you are hardworking, or you are financially stable, or you are learned, or this guy is good, and all of that. It's beyond that. That's same thing for marriage. It takes someone who believes in your vision, who knows where you are going to stay with you. Whether you are looking where you are going to today or not, it takes someone who believes in where you are going to tomorrow to stay with you in marriage. So that's how it is for people living with sickle cell right now, wanting to have like a friend or someone to stay with. So it's either you're employing a nurse, a full-time nurse, who comes and maybe does nights or does, if you have the money. Like what I do, I just have someone who help me clean the house to avoid so much cleaning. That person just works on me twice a day. So it's not like I don't need anybody, but with the persons I've lived with or I've given opportunity to stay with me, in the end, the conversations you hear outside is different from what it is inside. The things they start saying, and it's more like you are creating a ditch for yourself to fall into. So why not brace up, understand your body, know what works for you, know how to control your activities, love yourself enough, take care of yourself, have all the things you think you need when these crises come. If you need a drug that will suppress the pain mildly before you go to the hospital, buy it and keep. Though our medications are usually controlled medications, you hardly get access to them and they're expensive. Yeah. So, but if you think you need, like me, I can't sleep in my house without having water. I used to have those experiences like early my 25, 28. Yeah, and crisis will come and I don't have water in my house. Is it neighbor you want to go and knock to give you water? The neighbor that will not even know what is going on with you and be asking you in the morning and discuss it with neighbors, other neighbors. Yeah. So I don't sleep in my house without having like more than enough water in my house, drinking water.
Yeah.
So, and my basic medication. So that is, I've learned over the years and to take care of myself, to be there for myself, by myself, and for myself. And that's just, so it shows how tough my battle is and how I have to win, or I must win. It's part of the battles.
Okay.
So how do you balance work, church, health? Like you said, you do a lot of things.
A lot.
It's a lot.
So how do you balance work,
Okay.
church, other things, and your health?
Yeah, it's crazy balancing it. Couple of years ago, I was invited. Okay, as a baker, I belong to the Kanu Cakes blog in Kanu, and I think 4 or 5 years ago, I was invited to speak on balancing work with your 9 to 5. As an entrepreneur, balancing it with your 9 to 5. Though one or two persons knew, oh, that I'm a warrior, but like they didn't want me to talk about that part. But I had to also, because as bakers, we stand a lot. And then at the end, you're having your knees aching.
Right.
And it's crazy. But one thing I tell people is just have a schedule. Know what's plan. As an event planner, it's more like I plan my life as well.
Yeah.
Just plan. So if I have to be here today, when she said 10 a.m., I told her I can't work for me. Because I work 5 to 11 every day, including Sundays.
Yeah.
I close 11 p.m. Before I get home, it's like 12. Before I look for what to eat, if I want to take noodles, I want to take tea or something, and I'm all alone. Nobody's cooking food for me to come back and eat. I need to shower. I need to know if my house is even messed up or I need to fix it. So I sleep into the morning. 2, 3 a.m. is when I'm sleeping. And then I have some online work I'm doing. You get. So managing it is crazy, but I plan my life. Like, if I can't be there, I would. Gone are those days where I want to impress people. I want to show you I'm the good guy, because I used to do that a lot. You'll call me for something even when it's inconvenient, and I would
want
just
to
show
do
up. Yeah. Because I was trying to prove a point
point.
then. But I got to discover that you have to put yourself first. And people don't care what you are going through. They just want to take that part of you they need and go with it. That's just it. So I've lived with people, I've done a lot with people, and I've come to discover that people are just there for themselves, not for you. Everybody is using everybody. That's the truth about this word. Just know who you are using. Yeah. So I plan my life. Recently, I got a job, and I work not every day. So I have a morning job, I have my evening job, and I have my business. Now, for my business, I have a team that I work with.
That's a lot.
Yeah. I have a team that I work with, and I do a lot of designation. I share responsibilities. I give people to come into channel responsibilities. I channel responsibility, and I give them opportunity to come and man those responsibilities. Give them a sense of belonging. It doesn't have to be me. So I do more of supervising when it comes to my event part. So if I have a wedding job, I have what kind of event, I have a cake to do. I have people who does the baking, and I come to do the covering. And then maybe they cover if they have the time, and I just come to see the finishing parts. That's for my business. For my 9 to 5, for my 5 to 11 job, I do that one.
The 5 to 11, is it 5 p.m. to 11 p.m.?
Yes, every day. No holidays, no off days, including Sundays and Saturdays. It's a flexible one that just gives me, I can take excuse, but it doesn't have to be frequent. And it's either as a supervisor, it's either my manager is there or I'm not there. So it's planning. So know the kind of jobs you go for. I no need going into the details of my job, but just know the kind of job that works for you. An organization could call you, or you could see an offer and you want to apply, but check it. Does it even work for you? How long do you think you will last in this organization? Do you want to go there and when you are out of it, they think then if you are trying to tell everybody it's because of your health, that's why you have to blank out. So some people don't look at that part. They're looking at the money they want to gain. Now, the new job I got, that is the morning job. I looked at it. The distance is an hour drive from my house. But the job is only 3 times a week. Yeah, even though it's stressful. And God's so kind. I was given the opportunity to pick my days and pick my time. Even when I was, you have to resume 8 a.m. Sorry, I can't work 8 a.m. I say that to organize. Any offer I get, I tell you point blank, I can't work 8 a.m. Not because I can't come 8 a.m. for the first 1 week, but what happens in 3 months, in 2 months? I can't predict when my next crisis is coming. So I just tell you, I can't show up 8 a.m. Anything from 10 a.m. and above. That was what I told them. I was like, okay, it's fine. We'll put you for this and this and this. And that's how I'm working with them now.
So in summary, just know what works for you.
Just know what works for you. Plan your schedule. If you need, don't be stingy to keep all the money to yourself. Yeah, some brand owners and business owners want to be the alpha and the omega of their business. Bring in people, train people, even if it's for almost free. Trained people, invest in them. Your legacy lives in them when you are gone. That's the truth. Invest in them. If they don't have the complete money to pay for a skill you can teach them and get something in return. Maybe they work for you in return. And then when you know they are good, you can start paying them little by little by little. So if it's a business you are running, bring people, train them, invest in them, give them opportunity to lord a particular department of your brand so that you don't die before your time. If it's a job, yes, if it's a job you are doing, a 9 to 5, try to let them know what works for you. If they really see what they are looking for in you, they will keep you.
Yeah.
And if you are not for them, you are not for them. Just leave. So know what works for you and plan your life, basically.
Yeah. So with the way that the world is modernized, everybody now have access to the internet. I feel most people still don't know about this
Sickle
sickle cell
yeah.
warriors, right? So there are some people that still think any child that falls sick, have crisis is some people call them like their child of the gods.
Yeah.
Some call them a
Ibukun
child.
and
Yeah.
all of that.
So how do you think we can raise awareness? Because I feel we're not raising awareness enough. Because you can still see genotypes are not supposed to get married,
Yes,
get married, and
married.
they'll say when we get to the bridge we'll cross,
cross it.
and then they'll start, so
Yeah, awareness can never be enough. I've been on the journey of the Aaron Sickle Cell Care Foundation for about 4 years. By January, will be 4 years. And with all the awareness we have created here in Kano, I discovered that awareness can never be enough on this topic. That's because people have decided to be deaf to, yeah, people have deliberately decided to be deaf to informations relating to sickle cell. Yeah, people don't care until they are wearing these shoes or they have someone in their family.
Yes.
Now, some persons might not even pay attention to what we are saying here until they now remember, I have a cousin, I have one brother, my schoolmates those days in school. That's when they would want to pay attention. But for a family who has all the money, they are living well, all AAs, and they are very confident, they would just, these people, their studio is fine and the content is fine, they will just pass. So people have deliberately decided to be deaf to the information regarding some certain topics as this until they are going through that situation or until it's living right in their house or in their midst. That's when they pay attention. So we can never create awareness to the point where we now say, we've done enough. The awareness just needs to keep going. For every organization, every brand, every opportunity, every circle, every group that is willing to raise awareness on sickle cell, please, they should go on because it can never be enough. World Sickle Cell Day is June 19th. We try to do enough awareness on these days. And then September is also Sickle Cell Awareness Month. Yeah. So we do awareness, even if it's just to carry your phone and face yourself and say something about sickle cell. We encourage people to always do that. You don't have to put money or do all of that. So awareness truly can never be enough. And for those who, when we get to that bridge, we'll cross it, lovey-dovey people. Yeah, love is never enough. I tell people that. My friend always argued that with me, one of my male friends. How can you say love is never? When you love somebody, love conquers all, love this. And like, no matter the love you have for anybody, even if that person has given you his kidney or her kidney before, love is never enough. Because if you think it's enough, marriage will let you know. When you see the challenges that comes up in marriage, you will understand. When you see homes that are breaking, like in my little community here, I'm not talking of social media, I'm talking of as a privileged executive director of the Aaron Sickle Cell Care Foundation, the families we've catered for, the people who have to counsel, the people who have to talk to. I know of families that the man was ready to sponsor the wife outside the country for people to just think that she went outside the country. Meanwhile, they were actually separating. Oops. And the woman believes the man just wanted to get her, marry her. That was why he brought a different genotype test results for the wedding.
Oh my God.
Now, on the wedding, everybody came. The man came with A, she came with AS. And okay, you guys are compatible. He's AS, she's AS. She already said it, I am AS, with or without test, I am AS. So the man did and brought. Now they have how many children? About 4 or 5 children. They have 2 warriors. She doesn't understand what it is. This is like a lady a lady who is not even so exposed, but a very young lady who has about 4 kids now with 2 warriors. And it's been cry, tears. With the money, the home is not peaceful. With the cars, nothing is going well. And then she has poured different things on the woman's face, on the man's face. She has broken his phone. She has like a lot. But thank God that we have to counsel them, talk to them, bring doctors to also help them, and they are going well. So love is never enough. And when you think, oh, you love this person sacrificed it for you when you were in school, when you had nothing, check genotype. If you are very sure, I always tell my warriors, the ones we take care of, if anybody asks you, oh, I love you, you look beautiful, the first question is, what's your genotype? Even when they take you to the finest restaurant in town, as you are getting, they don't say they should bring the menu. What is your genotype? So just even if you don't want to say you are a sickle cell warrior to the person, just know the person's own genotype first. Go to the point of even testing. And if the person is not willing to share, please, we can only be friends, or you end everything and go home. So when you manage to get married as AS. Some people told us that they would do artificial insemination, they would do IVF. How many IVF fails before you get the correct one? Do you have the money?
Yeah.
That's also another thing. And when you successfully get one, what is the chance that that child or somebody will not come from somewhere and say this, and that? So I feel love is never enough. Just have somebody who stands with you, stand by you, who knows you, tell your truth. The person tells their truth. You guys stand with each other and you know that there's no marriage that does not have a battle they are fighting. So know the fight you want to carry if you are doing forever with this person. Know the juju you want to hang on your head if you are doing forever with this person. There's nobody that is perfect out there.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay. What advice or encouragement would you give to those living with sickle cell?
Those living with sickle cell, my love is here for you people. Like I would always love you guys. I will always fight for you, speak for you, because I understand your pain. For a warrior who is over 30, living with sickle cell and still surviving and striving in a city like Kano, or in a place like Nigeria, because we don't have all the medical facilities to get a better life. I always root for you. And one thing I would tell you is listen to your body. Your body talks. Your body speaks. Listen to your body when it speaks. If you don't know how to listen to your body, you can start practicing it. Listen to your body. Your body talks. There's a time your body tells you, I cannot do this again. You should listen at that point and take a break. There's a time your body tells you, I need water. Oh, I need this kind of food. Because we live on junks. We like junks a lot. It just comes with the cell. It comes with our makeup. Yeah. But we have to struggle to learn how to eat healthy, eat those fine food. And not like we don't love them, but we don't fancy them. Yes, we just like chips, we like biscuits, we like tea, we like sweet, all those things that don't follow. So eat the right meal at the right time. Always stay hydrated. Have your water can at all time. It doesn't matter whether you're going for a wedding, you're going for a job, you are going for a concert. See, I have my water can with me. I don't go anywhere without my water can. So and when you come to my house, I have different kinds of water can. If I'm going for a long distance, short distance, the weather is cold, the weather is maybe hot. Yes, I have different cans for different weather. So it's nothing to be shy about. Yes, it's not so easy to embrace being a sickle cell, coming out in a world where the stigma is actually very high, but you need to love yourself if you must survive. We have doctors who tell parents that sickle cell people don't survive a particular age.
Yeah.
But that's not true. They will tell you once you survive 20, 25 years, you don't get problem, your picking go, you don't live long with that. That's sickle cell warriors still die at 30, still die at 40. It just depends on understanding your body. Know what works for you. I know it's cold now. I can't come out opening my body. I'm going on a trip that the wind will be much. I have to pad myself very well. When I'm traveling, I have to have my medications with me. What if I have a crisis there? I need to have my medications with me. What kind of job do I go for? What kind of food do I go for? What kind of circle do I keep? What do I listen to? Does my circle even believe in what I do? Do they understand what I go through? If they don't, you need to change them. Get a support system, a support group. Like an organization like ours, you can get one that tells you what to do. You can see people that are like you, that encourages you to always live where you can have a small niche friend, a small circle that you guys just sit to talk about sickle cell once in a while. You can always be listening to talks about sickle cell online. So just put yourself first. My friend said it's being greedy or selfish when you say put yourself first, but I will always say it. Put yourself first as a warrior. In fact, as a human being, put yourself, even in your marriage as a warrior, put yourself first. If that thing does not encourage your health or support your health, stand for yourself and say no. So this is my love and advice to every warrior living out there.
Okay. So Okay.
Before you wrap, you want
Yeah.
to wrap
No,
up?
I don't want to wrap up. Okay, so before we wrap up finally, what would you say to caregivers, parents, and society? Because I have, should I say, I've given care to to a warrior,
Yeah.
and God,
nice, oh.
it's not
The
in the
pain.
middle of the night when you're enjoying your sleep.
That's
You
when they
just
wake you.
they'll cry, and sometimes this person will say, "Hold this place."
Mhm.
Sometimes they'll say, "No, leave the
This
place."
place, yeah.
Sometimes you say, "Pat this place, just rub this place," and sometimes you don't even know what to do. You don't know, should I carry you? And you have to be patient with them.
Yeah.
If you're not patient, you can just shout and say, "What's your problem?" So
Or end up crying.
and
Because
end
then
up
I
cry.
used to cry.
Me, I used to cry too. I'll be like, God, this pain just shares between me and this person because I don't know what to do again. So I believe there are still caregivers that
Are struggling.
Yes, that are
Yes.
still genuine, that still have that heart of
Giving care.
truly, and parents and also society, just like your organization. So what do you have to say to them? 'Cause
Okay, so it's first of all a lot to take care of a sickle cell warrior. Oh my word. It's crazy. You know, when women say, I have 3 twins, I have triplet or twins, and they are all boys, it's more than that. In fact, you can never satisfy a warrior when it
Yeah.
comes to care. Because at this minute, they are happy you are there. The next minute, they are saying you are doing it because you just want to do it for them. You're not doing it genuinely. The next minute, they don't even want you in the picture. They say, get out, I can take care of myself. Do you think it's because, like, that is how it is for warriors. We do like, you know, when a woman is at their, is it early trimester they call it, or their yeah, when they are pregnant for that first 2-3 months, those attitude they used to give, I want to eat fish, I want to, if you are bringing fish, they say, no, it's pounded yam. No, that's how warriors are. They are always having this mood swing. Their mental health is always affected by the slightest thing you do. So we always talk about their mental care also. So warriors are like that. First of all, you need to understand you can never take care of them enough. You need to also know that a lot of things trigger their mental health. A lot of things tamper with their mood. So it's not about what they have said to you that moment or how they are behaving. It's just their makeup. It is who they are. And caregivers that are genuinely doing it, they are going through a lot. And I always tell them, you must first take care of yourself before you take care of a caregiver. On one of my content online, if you check, we talked about caregivers and taking care of warriors. And we brought someone who is genuine, that I know is genuinely taking care of a warrior. And he was sharing his experience. It's a lot to take care of a warrior. So first you must know that warriors they are moved by the slightest thing you do. Their mood just move or changes quickly. So first of all, accept that. Know that this person will never be happy or satisfied with your care. Yes. It is not like when you're taking care of your brother or that other friend who is not a warrior. It's not like that for them. Then you, before you agree and take the responsibility to take care of a warrior, take care of yourself. Ask yourself, are you even fit? So don't show care, don't involve yourself in the person's life if you know you can't stay till the end, you are not capable. So take care of yourself first. And warriors are just these people, they love people around. They love it when everywhere is happy, people are there for them. Because me, I remember back then, if I'm sick and I'm hospitalized, and I have these friends I would just call, guy, I know where I'm in the hospital, they just admitted me now. So I do that anytime I'm sick. Now, I have this friend who never shows up. Or even when he does, as he's stepping into the room, 5-10 minutes, oh, sorry, I just let me come and check you. This is somebody that I leave my house for. Maybe I can even travel and give my key. It's not just a surface friend. And the person will just say, oh, my mom sent me or my aunt sent me, I want to get something, and I'll come back and check you. You won't see this person till when I am back on my feet and doing. Even if I stay in that hospital for 1 week, 1 month, this person will never. It repeated again and again until I had to see the person. Then I tell the person, I understand it's a lot taking care of me or being my friend. I just believe that we can't be friends again. So let's just end it. We are not fighting, but whenever we say hi, whenever you want to come to my space, if I'm okay with it, I'm free, of course I can. And we talked about it. That's it. So it's a lot to, because in their head, so many things are going on there. So you as a caregiver, first of all, is this something you want to do? If yes, are you capable? What kits? How do you get prepared to take care of this person? That's just, but if it happens, let's say you're on the road or you're in school, it just happens. You can take this person to the hospital, get their care. After that, oh, he's fine, and leave. That's just it. So with all the medical interventions we have, and people always ask, is there a cure to sickle cell? Yeah, and then I tell people in my organization that the only sure cure we have, because a lot of NGOs and brands coming up with herbal medication, coming up with some kind of tabs that you need to take for a period of time, and then the crisis will reduce. I'm not saying they are not valid. Of course, you can try them, but for the few I've tried, it doesn't take away those crises. The solution is understand your body and what happens and how your body operates. Now, with the medical intervention, the major and only cure I know to sickle cell is the stem cell, which is bone marrow transplant, where you get a donor from your family. It has to be a family member. And then they do this run sometimes between the both of you, know who is compatible. And then they say, okay, this person is the compatible and this person will donate. And then they flush out everything from your bone marrow, everything. They take all that out and they get the person's own and then they give to your system. Now, they've tried it in Nigeria and there are always a lot of complications. The challenge with it, even outside the country, is the only place you can get it for sure, but not everywhere outside the country. It's quite expensive and it comes with some level of complication. Yes. Now, would I take that opportunity if I get it? Yes, I would take it. But because I know I don't have the means now, and it's even better to do the bone marrow transplant when you are much, much, much younger. Yes, because your organs are still developing, so they conform to the change and they grow with it. But even as an adult, it works. I've seen people who they've gone for this transplant and it works for them. So if I get the opportunity and I have the funds or the means, I would embrace it. Yes, the resources, I will embrace it and go for it. But for now, I know a friend in Lagos has been pressing, tell your parents, do a GoFundMe, this. And I had to ask myself, do you really want to do this? And I told myself, I wouldn't want to stress people and then go for something and come back with complication. And then, so a lot of warriors are looking up to me. I would want the ones I'm taking care of to go for it. But if I have the opportunity, let's say an NGO is coming and I say, oh, in Kano, want to pick some, and I have the opportunity, of course, I will go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's on stem cell. Then the second question, I think.
Leg injuries, the scars.
Okay, yeah, the scars on my leg, yes, they are sickle cell related. Yeah, sickle cell, growing up, I always used to have this injury on my leg, and I didn't know it was it until I grew up and discovered as a child in primary school and secondary school. So it's called leg ulcer. Now, when there's not enough blood, because one major thing that happens with people living with sickle cell is shortage of blood.
Okay.
You can just stay and you are feeling dizzy, or you can just stay and you think it's malaria or it's crisis. You go to the hospital, you run a test, and the doctor is saying, oh, he's on a low PCV. That's low blood packed cell volume. Yeah, so he's on a low PCV, so we need to transfuse. Now, sickle cell persons change their blood like 2 to 3 times every year, but there are some people who stay 5 years without changing their blood. That's because they're either on maybe some kind of medication or some things that they take, like the pumpkin leaf, which we know ugu, mixed with malt, mixed with water, and all those things. But whenever there's a shortage of blood in a sickle cell warrior's body, and it is that short that it's causing havoc in the system already, you see that it will show on the leg. Now, when it shows on the leg, it shows with a sign of itching. You just think maybe it's mosquito bites or you've exposed yourself, or waiting hits you for leg, maybe you scratch. So you start scratching, start itching until you peel a surface. Now, when you peel that surface, it turns to a wound. Give it 1 week, it starts expanding, it gets bigger, and it starts giving you discomfort. It starts bringing out pus. You can't wear shoe, you can't even walk on your stand on. And then whenever you ease yourself, you go to urinate yourself, you must feel the pain from that point. So growing up, I was always having that. They just treat it as normal wound until I had to do my study. I have doctors as friends a lot. So when you hear me speak, some people hear me speak, they just say, is he a medical person? No, my knowledge is gathered from being a warrior and the circle I keep and my searches. So you see that when you itch and this wound open, it's just there. And so when you go to the hospital, if you have come to understand that it's leg ulcer, at that point, all you need is dressing, wound dressing, with maybe 1 or 2 opioids like painkillers, and then antibiotics you need to be taking for a period of time. Now, once that leg is open and it has expanded to a point, no matter how neat or the medication, how neat the dressing is or the medication you're taking is, it will never heal until it gets to a span of 3 months. Yeah, with experience. I've been having this from my secondary school days until I think the last one I had was 4 years, or is it 4 years or 5 years ago? That was the last one I ever had. So I took out time to know what is the root cause. And then when I discovered it, I started working on it. So I never allow myself to go on a low PCV. So sometimes I could just stay every month or once in 2 months or 3 months. I go to the hospital. It could be any private hospital. Tell them to just check my PCV. Once I'm having headache, I'm feeling dizzy, I just run quickly to check. Is my PCV low? So it's called leg ulcer. And once it's there on your leg, it stays for 3 months. You do that alternate days dressing, and then it goes back and it leaves a scar.
Yes.
Yeah. No, if you like treat with honey, clean with whatever that will not give scar, it leaves a scar. Whenever you have a shortage of blood again and you itch and peels off any surface, it comes back. Even when you don't peel the surface, the sign is there. As you are walking, you are feeling that something wants to happen to you here. So quickly, what do? You work on your PCV immediately, and you see it to just go back. It will just eat up, heal on the inside.
That's the major
Yes,
cause.
that's the major cause, but it's sickle cell related because of the shortage of blood, constant shortage of blood in our body.
And they happen.
Ma? And okay, for my surgery, yes, the year 2016, I had a major operation in Aminu Kano, and it was crazy for my family. It was crazy for me. I was in school as a 400 level student who was writing his project in chapter 2, first semester. I'd done first CA, just had the stomach pain, and I was staying alone in school too. Like, I've always been an independent child because I hate stigma and I hate it when people look down on me. I hate disrespect as well. Yeah. So I grew up being an independent, and then as the mentality of, oh, you're the first child, first son, you have 6 people looking up to you. So all of this put together had made me become an independent child. So yeah, so I was staying alone and had this stomach ache, and it just kept on and on. I bought medication from the pharmacy, was taking, I wasn't getting any better. It got to the point I was not going for lectures again. 1 or 2 of my favorite lecturers had to check up on me. What's happening? You've not been in class? Oh, sir, I'm not feeling too well, until I left. I had a cake even to deliver that day, and I gave to a friend, and then I was in church for rehearsals on a Saturday, and the pain came so severe that I had to quickly go back, unpack my bags. And one thing with me, I can pretend when I'm having pain in crowd. Yeah. I can be here and I'm having pain, and I will just pretend that I'm fine until I just want us to finish and then just leave this place and go and express myself. So in that rehearsal, the pain was there as the provost of my choir, then PRO, and I was just pretending to teach people and coordinate people, but I couldn't hold it. And then I left, went back home, put my things together, paid, went to the park, told my sister, babe, I'm leaving town now. And that stomach really disturbed me down too much. I just need to go back home. She said, okay, fine, where are you? And so I went to the park, paid for 2 seats, and then I left. I left Dusima. I'm a student of Federal University, Dusima. Yeah. So I left and came back to Kano. And it was on a weekend, on a Saturday. So I was at home. Sunday morning, I woke up with severe sharp pain. I wanted to stand, and it was as a spring pulled me down, and I started screaming. Went to my family hospital, and the doctor was not on seat because it was on a Sunday that we have to pay 3,000 naira, this, that. And my mom was angry before the doctor would come, and then we went to another hospital. Went to that one, and then the doctor came. I was screaming like a madman in that hospital. Like, I turned the whole place upside down. It was that wasn't just the regular crisis. I was experiencing that for the first time. And then the doctor came, attended to me. I was stable. And 2 days after, they came back and said, Madam, told my parents, it's appendix. We need to operate him, a minor operation for appendix. And that when we are ready, we should just sign. So my parents came to me, explained, and I told them I'm not comfortable having that operation here. So I left. They discharged us. 2 days after, I came back again, and we went to International Hospital. And International Hospital, they scanned, and then they said, there's appendix, yes, but there's something that is dropping. So I noticed over time, from when I left school to that point where I was at International, my tummy was gradually protruding. I just observed, but I didn't want to see it. So when they did that scan, the doctor just said there's something that is leaking in his stomach, that is dropping water, fluid, that they can't tell, and they cannot really admit me and just be treating what they don't know. So we are referring you to AKTH. And that was my first encounter with AKTH in 2016. And right there in the doctor's office, my mom and I started crying. And the doctor was like, if you are crying, what do you want the boy to do? And you know, then the story of Aminu Kanu now. You might not survive, but once you get to Aminu Kanu, that is the beauty. You and God, though, your case is before God and the devil. So, like, the stories were much how people give birth and their babies, this and that and that and that. So we got there, I was taking Fanta in the reception, the doctor came, and then because they had already stabilized me a little, and then we went there. My dad had called all his meeting people, so the hospital was just filled. And then we got there, and the doctor just came. I said, Madam, collect the mineral from him. For now, we don't know what's going on with him, so we can't allow him to take anything. Don't give him water. Don't give him food for now. After all their check, I was admitted and did so many tests. There was one they had to inject and get fluid from my tummy. They had to put in a bottle and say if the bottle breaks after 3 days, that there's a problem. But if it doesn't break, then okay, it's fine. Long story short, we are booking you for a major operation. We discovered that so the leaking and protruding tummy is perforated typhoid. So I was diagnosed of perforated typhoid and ruptured appendix. So the appendix had ruptured because it wasn't taken care of quickly. Now the typhoid perforated, got busted and was dropping, was leaking inside my tummy, and that was what was causing the protruding tummy. So at that period, they told me I won't take anything. And I was without food and water for a month and 3 days. Yes, in that hospital.
How are you taking drip?
Yeah, so when it comes, at some point, my mom cleans me because I don't usually get up to shower. So when she cleans me, unknown to her, I was always biting the towel to just get water from the towel. Not knowing I was even complicating issues for myself. And that was how dehydrated I was. For someone who always needs to live with water or who lives on water. So when the day she discovered, she stopped cleaning me. She stopped cleaning me to my face, and she called the doctor and informed them. So anytime it looks like I'm giving up, like I'm fading out, there's this drip they just fix, and I just regain energy over time. So even if I don't exhaust that very bag, they just remove it and put the regular drip. So that was how I was being sustained. And then prayers were going on everywhere because I belonged to a NIFES in school. I belonged to Winners in school, choir and decoration unit in school. So everybody, my sister had her prayer group praying, church were praying, school praying, family, my mom's prayer, like prayers everywhere. So it got to that point where, because when we were supposed to go to the theater, at the entrance of the theater, we had an altercation where the anesthesias were now fighting my mom. In fact, we're not taking the patient again. Go out, this. So I think she walked in with her slippers unknown to her to the entrance to the theater, and we had this serious altercation. I was on a wheelchair. They pushed me there, and we went back, and the people said they're not taking me again. So when we got back, I was just crying, Lord, is it the end of my life? Lord, am I going to die here after going through school? So many things were running through my head, all the life I've built for myself, my dreams, the people I've given hope to, my brand. So a lot of things were going on, and yeah, so my mom just told me, stop crying, you don't have to cry. That you don't know what wants to happen there for that to happen. Who knows if you go into that theater, you may never come out. And then she told me to, don't bother, that the God I serve will not, allow me to cry or mourn over you. So, yeah, so my mom said that, and the memories are just flashing back right now, because aside God, my mom is one reason why I'm still alive. She's more like the oracle behind my life. When you talk about a praying force, when you talk about what do you believe, when you talk about do you even believe in God? Because at some points in my life, I've got to ask myself, this God you're even serving, you're in the choir, you kill yourself, God, church boy, does he even know you're going through these things? Yeah. So I give God all the glory, yes, but put if I want to say physically anybody I can see or relate to is my mom. She's one standing major force that has contributed greatly to my sustenance. Yeah. She's why I can misbehave and believe that maybe the consequences of those things, may not fall, because she prays a lot. She prays a lot, like a lot, even in hospitals. Now back to our conversation. Yeah. At that point, when she said, "Don't cry, who knows if something wants to happen? Maybe God just used this to curb that away." And I just gave it a second thought and I stopped crying and I was just fine. Same day, they now came back and said, "Oh, we are changing you to another theater, still inside Aminu Kanu." It got to that point where they inserted a pipe through my nose to my stomach because I told you I was having protruding tummy. So some greenish substance were always coming out through that pipe and it was tied to hand glove. So whenever the glove is full, they change it. Greenish substance. Though it wasn't smelling, but it was just there. That was the perforated typhoid. And it kept on and on and on and on until I got to the theater. And when we went to the theater, same night, 12 o'clock, I think after we got there, my mom had to now pray around me on the bed. She did some prayers around me, sang. While the people waiting to collect me were just standing, about 2 or 3 of them, they were waiting to just receive me. And then she will go, and then I'll be taken to the theater. And then when she finished, she just told me, "Promise me you will come back." And I was just looking at her. I was so weak. And, I was tired. At that point, if you question my faith, I'll tell you I don't know. Yes. Because a lot of people came for prayers. "Oh, confess your sin." You know how our hospitals are now, where people come for prayers. They tell you, "Just confess your sin, give your life to Christ." So, and I was just, when they come, they just pray. I just look at them. Sometimes they are praying, I don't say. So I was at that point of giving up. And it was then I discovered that people die in the hospital, not just because of the severity of the illness, but because they are first giving up. Yeah, so it was then I discovered that. So every death is tied to someone who has given up on themselves and everything about them before you now hear that, "Oh, death has taken that person." Yeah. So my mom just said, "Promise me you will come back. Tell me that I should wait for you and I will receive you, even if it takes how long." I was just moping. All the prayers, I never said amen. I didn't know where I stood with God at that point. I didn't know if I had offended God or if I was even right with God, and I didn't care at that point where I stood. Where, if I should die, where am I going to, hell or heaven? At that point, I was tired of everything. Yeah. I saw my dad crying for the first time because of that. I had to contribute to a point. Yeah. So it affected the whole family, messed up everything. It messed up everything we believe as a family then, all because of just this one child. So when my mom was like, "Tell me something, say something," I couldn't say something. And then she just said, "Okay, tell me something to take to your siblings. Tell me something that I'll tell them that you said. Just tell them that tell me that I should tell them this." And then I just remembered every memories I had with them, because I am this elder brother who is not an elder brother before my siblings. I share their moments. I am down to their level and we play. We talk about everything. My mom did a good job raising us as siblings. So there is no this seniority, "Oh, I've achieved more than you," and all of that amongst us. So I remembered every memory I had with all the memories I had with them, and I just knew I couldn't just go at this point. I couldn't just go because of them. And I told them with every being in me, I just struggled and gathered energy, and I told my mom, "Tell them I'll be back." And that was it. And she pushed me, and then they took me. The last time I saw time was 3 a.m. And then the next time I saw, after they had fixed a lot of things on me, so many injections, having blood, having drip. And then I woke up. The next time I saw time was, I think the operation finished by past 6. I was moved from the theater to the main male medical ward. Yeah, I was there for another period of time. After operation, you have to be there you have to fast before you start eating. Yeah, so I was there and I was just having, so that very morning, the line where I was, where I had the cuts, it broke. the sewing broke that morning. And you know, after operation in America, they put you on a white bedspread, white blanket, and all of that. So if there's any stain, they can quickly see it. So I think it broke, and a nurse just came and saw that the bed was red. The part of the bed was red. So I was already bleeding, and they had to take off the blanket, and they saw that I was leaking from that point. So they called the surgeon immediately. My mom was already weeping and rolling. They had to ask her out of the ward. The surgeon came. They gave me an injection. I think they sedate me, but not deeply sedated, yeah. So they started sewing me afresh on the bed there and then. I was seeing it, feeling the pain, but I was so weak that I couldn't react, push anybody or do anything. So the surgeon started sewing me afresh again. And it was a major operation. I was torn to this point of my tummy, but over time it has healed and come down again now to this point. So he did everything. They changed the bedspread and everything, and then I got back, I slept again, and long story short, this is me that survived perforated typhoid and ruptured appendix in 2016. Going back to school was a whole lot. My dad said not everybody that needs to go to school. When I told him I want to go back to school, that not because I was there from February to like early March. And one prayer I remember that I prayed to God was, let Easter period of that year not meet me in the hospital. That was the only prayer I prayed. And truly, I was discharged the eve of Easter, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Then struggled with friends and doctor to talk to my dad to agree that I should go back to school. The surgeon even told my parents, if there's anything you believe, please keep believing in that thing, because this operation is not something that your son is supposed to survive. That people barely survive this operation. Like his friend in Abuja, who runs same operation in the teaching hospital, have a lot of lost cases on this same case. So I was just that one person God decided to give a second chance, because I was not done with my mission here on it. And when I survived, I was like asking God, so why did you sustain me? What was it for really? So when I went back to go and finish school, I just knew I needed to do something different. It wasn't about business. It wasn't about work. It wasn't about money. And then I discovered that I needed to first of all come out. It wasn't about serving God better or more or living a particular sin. Yes, it had to do with all of these things. But it wasn't majorly about that. Over the years, I discovered that I needed to reach out to people like me. I needed to give people hope. I needed to let parents and families know that your one child who is a warrior can do better than you ever think of them. And then I started the Aaron Sickle Cell Care Foundation in January, like 3 years ago now, before by January next year. And that's it. We've been running. Grace have been helping us, and we are here.
Thank you so much, sir. We've learnt a lot, and we believe that our viewers too, they've learnt a lot. The fact that you're a warrior doesn't mean that you can't achieve those dreams.
Yeah.
You can't come out, you can't inspire people, right? So please share this video to your friends, that warrior you know that needs to watch this video, right? And if you haven't subscribed, please click on the subscribe button and on the notification bell so you get to be notified. Thank you so much for staying with us up until the end of this video. God bless you. And once again, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir. So, yeah.